Greetings, and welcome to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim, your friendly Lacuna GM. I use he, him pronouns. And this is the 4th development mode session of our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. Invisible Sun is a surreal slice of life game by Monte Games. We are integrating the directed campaign, but most of this stuff is going to happen spontaneously. Which reminds me. There we go. Good. Now you've been adequately warned. Let's go around and introduce the couple of folks we have with us today. And we'll see what we're going to be getting up to. We will start with Wilde. Hello. Excellent, excellent. And now we shall go to Anino. Hello. We're throwing the two hobos together. We're going to see what happens. All right, now I've just been informed, apparently, there's an audio problem. Because of course there is. Let me check. Hang on. Why does this happen always, always? This happened last time, didn't it? This happened yesterday. It did. Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. We must examine all of our flaws very, very deeply. And minutely. At all times! It's vitally important. Let me reset that. Excellent. Okay. Let me reselect the thing. Okay. We're going to try this again. Say hello, Wilde.
Hi, yes, I'm Wild Engineer. I go by he, they, and I am playing Shantano. It goes by they, them, and they are an itinerant empath of the Order of Apostate who splinters into fragments.
I think they can hear you now! Excellent!
All right.
It's also to do with the fact that I'm using these things, and then every time they're... We were a little late today because of a graphical thing that is going on with my computer being like 4 or 5 years old. Apparently now every time I turn this, I set this thing up. Now that I'm also using these new headphones, relatively new, these things happen. No, but no one worry, no one worry. I have enough radiation for everyone to power the entire game. Anyway, let's move on once again. Now that we've had a dress rehearsal, let's move on to Anino.
Oh my God, I forgot my lines already. No, my name is Anino. I use he, him pronouns. I play Mac the Husk, who also uses, they actually use they, them. And he is also a hobo and an enthusiastic with the Order of the Goetica, who provides vessel for spirits.
Excellent. Good, good. Just the list of things to add to the checklist grows ever longer, but that's okay. All right. Hi. As we do with most games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of the players, any of them can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and we'll do something else. If something happens that they're okay having in the game, but they don't want a graphic description of it, they can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if you're exploring a topic or area of roleplay that's particularly intense for you, but you want to keep going, you can put an O in the chat to let us know you're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. something else we can do is to put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that and let us know if we're still doing okay.
Cool.
So, when we last saw our Vizsla, we had they were attending a party, and then they went and they got sushi at the ever-changing restaurant, and then sometime later, whenever we determine this is some indeterminate amount of time later, I believe that Shantano and Mac have ended up at the Symphonic Garden. Is that right? Or the Spirit Well and Spa, which is just to the east of it. There's also an animal statue garden, but I figure you're not going in there. One of those places, yes?
Yeah. Probably starting at the garden.
Okay. Did you both just sort of agree to meet there, or are you arriving there independently and just noticing each other?
I was thinking that maybe Shantano might have suggested, or that he might be going there. And given the events of the party and Mac the Husk's innate sense of responsibility for the well-being of spirits as a whole, he decided that he would tag along and, make sure that nothing untowards to people and or spirits were to happen.
I can't imagine why that's a concern. I have no idea. It's as though something terrible happened at the party.
Yeah, no, that's...
Yeah, no idea. No idea how that happened. All right.
There were questionable decisions.
Choices were made.
Choices were made.
And,
Just a little bit of murder.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Only one. Only one person died.
Yeah.
And so we find ourselves going under the massive arch of the Symphonic Garden. And Jim is now going back through his notes in an effort to remember what the Symphonic Garden is like. Because it's been a while. So, as I recall, a lot of things were said, but there were basically flowers in there that make noises, different noises, and as you approach them. And are you hunting around for spirits in here first, or are you going to just sort of head through here and over to the Spirit Well?
I think Shantano would do their usual thing of, first they would wander around, and if there are other people kind of seeing what their reactions were to all the sounds and whatnot going on, maybe.
Okay, let's find out. I'm gonna draw a card, because that's how this part of the game works. All right. So, our card is the Alchemist, which I don't think has come up for us before. The meanings of the Alchemist are complexity, transformation, and knowledge. The Alchemist seeks transformation, usually in the sense of advancement or enlightenment. She hopes to better herself through understanding, as adept, depending on which side of the room you're standing, of the Secrets family. Yes, the adept of the Secrets family. The Alchemist is, of course, complicated. Her knowledge is deep and vast. Magical processes surround her, chemicals and substances, and the flame that catalyzes them all dance upon her fingertips. But her raw materials are her own essence and her own soul. Makers often see this card as a good omen. In divination, the alchemist's complexity suggests that there's far more to a situation than previously understood. Just as often, however, she indicates drastic and sudden change, a new opportunity, a new person involved, or a new facet to a problem. Should one turn the alchemist and dangerous elixir consecutively, this is called the ultimate transformation, and it suggests total and complete upheaval of the situation and possibly someone involved in it. So I'm going to eagerly be looking forward to seeing what the next card is. Change. Yeah. Alright, so you are, you're wandering about through this garden, listening to the different things, looking to see if you see people and or spirits, I take it?
Yes.
Okay. I think that, yeah. Let's see. Oh, yes, there is something there. There is something there. I would like more information about it, but I guess we're going to conjure it up now. So, there's a path through, as you have these sort of flowers that seem to be, they're not exactly like swaying back and forth per se. They are in the breeze a little bit. But they're kind of, some of them are sort of ringing like bells as they move. And creates this odd dissonance that builds as you get further in toward the garden's center. And as you approach, you see that it gets to a kind of a crescendo as two of you are kind of getting further and further in. It's getting sort of louder and more warbled. It's kind of almost the Philip Glass effect to a certain extent, or the that one Beatles song effect. And then you sort of hop through as you step forward into this circle. You've got this concrete walk going around in the middle of the garden, and it's pretty quiet. You just hear the occasional little tone. And in the center, you see this low pool that's sitting in the middle of the garden. It's got rocks around the edge. So this almost perfectly circular pool of water that's a slightly greenish blue in color.
Huh. So this is a rather quaint and quiet place. Tell me again, Chantanelle, why are you looking for spirits around here exactly?
Well, I've already seen death and murder. I wanted to see the after effects as well. What's the point if you don't get the complete picture?
Well, you did technically see the after effects of death. You actually touched it. So I'm not sure what else you would seek to find here.
That's only one aspect of death, surely. Otherwise, this place wouldn't exist.
I hear that the Pale is where the real fun is for those who've experienced a ending of some sort.
Well, It's a little easier to come here first.
This is true.
But would you know how to get to the Pale?
Goodness, no. I barely know how to get back to my house.
I guess the Pale will have to wait for another day.
Does anyone here have a thing that a sort of a... I expect that both of you have some sort of sense of some kind that kind of helps you to pick up on when there are spirits around.
So, as a first degree Goetic, one of my abilities is speak with spirits. Mm-hmm. So I imagine I could hear them.
There is a kind of a low humming coming from the center of the pool.
I think that depends on a definition, on the interpretation.
Yeah.
I mean, I could cast a spell. I have cryptothesia. It's, what is it? With a wave and a word, I can see beyond a wall, door, or other barrier that I touch.
I got you.
And depends on what we consider a barrier.
That's an excellent question. Well, for the purposes of, it's I guess we just sort of have to define it, right? Mm-hmm. However, let's move with this forward just a little bit and see kind of where we go. You might not need to use that yet. But there is something about the pool that, as you're sort of looking at it, there's almost this little glow coming up from the bottom.
Sorry, do you hear a humming noise, Shantanu?
Yeah, I do. Is that not supposed to happen?
I mean, I hear it because I'm quite fluent in all manner of spirit. It seems to be coming from that pool. I suppose we should take a look.
And is that not why they call this the Symphonic Garden?
So I don't know if you've really caught on when it comes to what I'm about, but I tend to not pay attention to details that aren't exactly pertinent to me. I'm sure the Symphonic Garden is pretty interesting and all, and but this isn't exactly how I would be spending my spare time right now. But I feel I need to add to my list of accomplishments before I attempt to cast an invocation of knowledge. So, and there is this whole idea of you exploring death and spirits, and I would like to avoid a rehash of the party. Our associates would not be very happy if something untowards were to happen to you, and seeing as that I am a bit of a caretaker of spirits, I'm here.
Well, I mean, I usually travel on my own, so I tend to feel I have a fairly decent handle on making sure I'm not in too much danger. But I guess I appreciate the worry.
Oh, should be fun then. Not a big fan of fun.
Well, that's only brings about certain feelings. You can only learn so much from fun.
I suppose there is some sort of irony in trying to discover the academic purpose of fun, or at least studying it in a sort of academic sense. But
Mm. I mean, in a sense, I guess you could say exploration is fun, but at the same time, for me, it's necessary. I mean,
fair enough. So at that point, I think Mac is going to peer over the edge of the rock and see what's inside the pool.
So you're looking down in. And yes, you're kind of seeing this sort of miasma that's sort of moving back and forth under the water. This little slightly glowing green miasma at the bottom of the pool. The pool's not very deep. And it's humming.
Mac is going to brush his fingers against the surface of the pool and see if there's any sort of reaction.
Okay. Yes. Let me check that. So, I have just drawn another card, and that card is the tyrannical clock. The tyrannical clock. It's the Six of Notions. Its meanings are oppression, time, countdown, schedule, repetition. We live and die, quite literally, by time. It rules our actions, for we have no actions without it. We struggle to accomplish what we must by a certain time, or we face grim consequences. We eat, sleep, and even breathe, measured by the movements of the clock. It is our master, it is our enemy. Don't I know it? In divination, the pressures of time affect one's goals. Not only must one succeed, it must be done by a certain cutoff time. The tyrannical clock suggests some extraneous oppressive force that compels us with threat of pain or even death. The compulsion is to keep moving, and to do so on a schedule. It might involve repetition or simply a deadline, depending on the circumstances. This card isn't automatically negative. One can still succeed, but the requirements become harsher and the challenges greater. Okay. All right. So, you press your hand to the surface of the water, and immediately the green miasma surges up, forming roughly the shape of a hand to meet yours, and presses against it, and the rest of it kind of moves around to the point that it looks almost a little bit like a person under there. And you see from under what could be a hooded cloak, these two eyes flicker on, this bright, intense sort of greenish-yellowish light as it stares at you.
So, trying not to show any sort of fear or surprise at the reaction, he's just going to say aloud, "All right, yeah, spirit high five, all right."
So, Shanano, you're going to notice that the surface of the pool has begun bubbling. Mac, you notice this as well, but
yes, I don't see the miasma, I'm guessing. Or...
well, unless you're, well, are you coming up to look also?
I mean, if
Look over
Mac
the edge?
is staring into the pool, I'd probably walk up next to him and look
All right.
down.
Hey, yeah, a cloaked figure in there. That's made out of this miasma. And the surface of the pool is bubbling, and it's sort of rising up. and it's kind of moving, Mac, as you're touching it, it's kind of moving to kind of grasp your hand. And do you allow that?
No, because he does not feel like drowning. So Mac is going to
Okay.
actually withdraw his hand away.
You don't want to
Be like,
drown today?
Oh, I haven't learned how to breathe underwater yet. So
Okay. All right. It's fair. So, yes. You back away, and it closes its fist for a moment, and it's coming up until you can see it's now rising up this water, sort of spilling and sort of almost burbling around it in the air in a way, this figure, until it assumes roughly until it's kind of hovering there in the pool at about eye level with the two of you. And it folds its hands. And it looks at you each in turn. You're running out of time.
that seems remarkably vague. And not quite a friendly introduction.
Is it talking to you or talking to me?
Talking to both of us. You are talking to both of us, aren't you?
Yes.
No.
Why are you here?
I mean, for me, it's to find out more about this side of death, I guess.
I'm just here for shits and giggles.
He's here for fun.
It gestures in the direction of Shantano. Says, "You bear the mark of murder itself upon you, and yet it confuses you."
No. The murder was quite straightforward. It's after the murder. I mean,
You do not know what you have.
should I?
Interesting. Mayhap not.
Hmm.
It is hard to say until one is tested. Your test is coming.
Oh. Was it a written exam or oral exam?
Mac is just gonna crack up at the spot. Like, oh god, I can't believe this
Sort of
happened.
crosses its arms and says, "Practical."
Hmm. It shouldn't be too bad, I guess. Is there any wisdom you can impart about this test, perhaps?
If you wish knowledge from me, I must have payment.
Hmm. And I don't have a lot of savings, so I'm pretty sure I can dip into that. It's 60 gold? Sound about right? I'm not sure.
D&D. Gold.
Are you offering 60 orbs?
Corpse, yes.
No, I thought that was in character.
Oh,
That's
okay, that was in character.
My
Whatever the currency is. I mean,
I literally thought Shantano was offering gold, and I'm like, my bad.
That would be awesome, though. But
So at this point, Mac would sort of just as if he was trying to patiently explain to a child. So, just a word of advice in terms of dealing with spirits: payment isn't often just currency. Um, Not a lot of spirits really need to hoard crystal like we may have to and exchange it with our society. Typically, you can barter a favor for a favor, or a portion of your soul for in exchange for your knowledge. It really depends on what the spirit covets. Um, I'm guessing the spirit isn't exactly looking for Kool-Aid in which to flavor the pool that they are wafting in. So I don't suppose you would be willing to at least offer your name and terms for your payment.
Would have been great if I had. I don't know. Yeah, well, okay. Let's think this through here. Let me pull up a thing real quick. There we go. Okay, sure. We're gonna go with that. I'm writing this down. I am the Imminence. And there are many who come through. They toss their orbs into this pool. I show them the tiniest sliver of that which is to come. But for true knowledge, answers to questions, I require one of two things. A piece of the now, or a piece of the then. For I see only what is to come.
And I'm guessing the more personal this piece is, the better.
Those are of great value.
I can give you a piece of the now, or my now.
What do you offer of the now?
And
Do you wish to merely give away this moment?
you see Chantineau kind of reach into his chest, and you hear something shatter, and he takes out a piece of himself and hands it over to the spirit.
Wow. You're literally just giving yourself away.
Sometimes sacrifices must be made to find yourself.
What piece of yourself are you giving to the Imminence?
I mean,
Eminence front.
like, I don't know, it's literally just a chunk of Chantineau's body. Essentially, it's a piece he'll never be able to, or they will never be able to form again. A piece he'll never be able to recover. And once he's lost possession of it.
Does it represent anything, or is it just quite literally this is like a hunk of your chest?
Like, in terms of, like, in actuality, it's just a hunk of chest. In terms of a splinter, it's an aspect of themselves. It'll always be slightly incomplete.
I mean, it's still significant. I just was curious as to if it represented anything in particular aside from just a piece of you.
It actually. Oh.
It's fine either way, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just literally a part that can't be used anymore for reforming who Shantano is. He's losing that part of himself.
Okay. Piece missing. Good to know.
I should probably have looked at this more carefully before doing that.
I will just say that as a subject matter expert, this is not a very good deal.
You hand over a piece of yourself? They will take it if you desire, if you hand it over.
Do you suggest something else, Mac?
No, not really. I just don't think the knowledge that they might provide would be worth it. I mean, he could have at least asked for a free sample in order to at least verify that this guy is, the spirit is what it says it is, and not just a front.
Indeed.
Oh, you desire a free sample?
No, it's a matter of trust here. I mean, this is standard operating procedure for those of my order and those of my church. He's just going to point to his badges.
Oh,
Oh,
I will show you something if you like. Would you care to see something? To know
That sounds very lewd. I'm sorry.
what it is. To know what it is that I can see, I will show you. For no charge if desired.
Something specific, or can we specify something specific, or
Not for free.
You're really obnoxious to bargain with.
One cannot bargain with fate.
Is that what you are? Because I met another one of you sort of fate-mongering spirits back in the silk maze at the fair, and yeah, I tell you, I was really unimpressed.
well, could be because those weren't actual spirits.
No, it was definitely a spirit. I actually programmed him into my call list for future reference. But I tell you what, I might be willing to let you have full control over my body for maybe a minute. Probably been a while since you've had control of a body. You can do whatever you want for a minute, so long as you do it within the side. And Mac is going to start tracing a circle of protection. In exchange, in exchange, after your minute is up, I want you to tell me more about the person I had met when I was in the silk maze.
I will tell you more about that individual if you give me this minute at a later time of my choosing.
Wow. How can this bite me in the ass? Let me think about this for a moment. And he's just going to stand there, scratching his chin, thinking about what he can offer in exchange.
I think in the meantime, Shantano's gonna be like, well, never been one for protocol. Here.
It'll take it. Excellent.
Oh, man.
And it burbles into it.
Russia's not going to like that.
Who?
He's just going to face palm head here. Like, I can't believe I'm bearing witness to this.
Oh my god. Okay. Excellent. Okay. So. Okay. And you see it just sort of that you see a few sort of a network of cracks actually appear across them for a moment, and then they disappear. Excellent. What do you wish to know?
Well, tell me what you think I should know.
You are very, very generous. Or insane.
There is a...
I mean, information is everywhere. I'm certain I'll find it at some point, whether they choose to give it to me now or later.
People you know have gone from memory. They were and now they are not. But you remember them. There is a thing they fear. Its very nature is devouring. They need help.
Is this about the Elderbrand?
Are we speaking of the Elderbrand that you killed, or are we speaking of a different Elderbrand?
Yes, the Elderbrand I killed.
No, that one is merely the piece of a larger puzzle. This is a more immediate concern. But among them are ones who can help you go to any place you wish. If you can help them, they can help you.
And where may I find these
It is difficult. There is a spell in place. I cannot penetrate it. But there are specifics. It is troublesome.
Mm-hmm.
If you look, but the one who very well. There is one, however, that it says, gesturing toward Mac, received a piece of. That is the one who can send you to places. One of the ones who needs help.
Piece of.
Quite recently.
Mm-hmm.
Mac is gonna think back. What piece are they talking? Like pick up something?
Never been a fan of cryptic information.
Well, kind of par for the course.
And it will just say, it will turn to Mac and say, "You have it on your person now."
I do. Hey, he's gonna start feeling around in his pockets.
Among the various things that you usually carry, you do note that you are carrying a business card.
Oh. Gonna pluck that business card. Oh, Darren of the Numa. All right.
And Shantanu, that name actually is familiar to you. It's kind of this is someone that you have met up in the Silver Hill neighborhood, just a little bit north. We need to really, as a side note, soon as a group, we need to name this neighborhood as well. This neighborhood needs a name that everyone lives in, instead of just being the neighborhood that's south of Silver Hill. But we'll get back to that. But anyway, let's see. Let me pull up, see if I've got the description info. What's here? Yeah. So, yeah, it's, yeah, when you last saw Darren, Shantanu, this was, you were up in Silver Hill. This is a, guy. He is got sort of a shriveled and blackened arm, and he usually wears a coat and a monocle. He's got a bunch of he's got a bunch of tomes. He studies magic quite a lot. And he at some point, and this was a while back, this might actually be a pre-war memory. If you like, it can be, or it can be more recent. that he knew he once idly mentioned an incantation he could use to get people places, called Clouds Part to Reveal the White Ship.
Okay.
And actually, I'm going to ask, as part of this memory, what is? How do you know this? How do you know Darren? What was your last encounter with him like?
Um, yes, I was probably trying to figure out some information. Met Garen on my travels, just walking around as usual. Just happened to meet him on one of my short stints in town. I don't stay anywhere for long in particular unless something catches my interest, and Garen did.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So yes, that is so yeah, that is someone you know. That is someone you remember. After Mac pulls out the business card, he never really explained what the Pneuma was, but it's like it's a club or something. You think?
More information for me to gather, I see. Well,
And to be fair, what else do we have better to do?
I guess it is my life's work. There's nothing wrong with visiting old acquaintances.
Well, I meant to go visit this gentleman anyway.
Mm. I wonder, is it something we should probably go to now, or is something? Well, we are in danger, according to the spirits.
No, they just said that our time is limited. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, we are in fact mortals, so yes, our time is running out.
Indeed.
He's just going to stare at the spirit and just tap his head. I'm on to you.
Hmm. Did you yourself have some information to get from the spirit?
I don't really like the terms of him being able to, or it wanting to, take control of my body for a full minute at a time of its choosing. Seems a little too vague and open-ended.
Well,
I'm not in the habit of giving out IOUs or coupons.
it could be a
Very
little.
well. If you wish, I will. I will take a minute of your now. If you would prefer.
Fine, but you can't leave this area. And you can't submerge me in this water.
Well, I shall just have to make do then.
Fine, but I want this guy's name and where I can find him.
I will tell you up front. I can give you his name. I cannot give you his location.
Can you give me my memory of my last encounter with him prior to my previous encounter?
That is the past. I don't have that.
Of course
And
not.
he has not given him. Neither you nor he have given me that memory.
That's fair. What about a vision of my next encounter with him?
That I can do.
All right, very well. Just know that if you do anything untowards to me, the Order of the Goetica and the Church of Illuminism will be very, very cross with you.
Oh, we wouldn't want that, would we?
No. All right. And Mac will acquiesce, his hands apart, and call the vision of the person that he is referring to from that encounter in his mind so that there isn't any sort of confusion as to who he is discussing.
So I'm assuming you're talking about the individual that you met in the maze at the that was around that little fountain.
Yes, the one who decided that he wouldn't give me the satisfaction of knowing who he was.
Gotcha. Okay. So the spirit surges forward. Actually, the spirit, yeah. Spirit just basically is toward the edge of the pool and reaches out a hand.
All right. So Mac is going to remove his jacket, and you'll see on his arm the tattoo shifts into a facsimile of this area and reflects the weather. You'll see that there's a little, I guess one aspect of this area that was sort of just added in is a little cabin. And as he touches the outstretched spirit's hand, that cabin is going to begin to illuminate.
Cool. Okay. I am going to... First of all, I need to pull up the relevant information. Okay. Got it. All right. So, as you step forward and you take the hand of the spirit of the imminence, I'm going to draw another card.
What's the worst thing that could happen?
We're about to find out. Wow.
What's the card you're looking for?
It's actually got a picture of something that looks not unlike the spirit on it. The card in question is the Mysterious Rune. It's 9 of Secrets. Its meanings are magic, mystery, and wordless communication. Words are spells, and spells are words. Runes encode words. They hide them in plain sight. Store them. If you can decipher the rune, you gain its meaning and thus its power. Those who scribe a rune, or even those who hold the book or other object the rune marks, are its masters. The Secrets family holds the mystery of a rune, along with all its hidden meanings. It is not an unknowable truth, but a secret that can be learned, though it's likely a difficult and dangerous one. In divination, generally, this is considered a card of good fortune by Vizsla and bad fortune by nuns. There's mystery afoot, there's something important that can be discovered if the person in question looks for it. Specifically, looking for something in a book is a good idea after this card is turned. So... there is something that, yeah. Okay. So, Shantano, you see Mac seem to change for a moment, and the spirit is now seemingly frozen. There's... Mac, what does it generally look like when the spirit takes over your body? Is there a notable difference?
No, I mean, Mac's usual posture and mannerisms tend to be more on the fluid side. Gives the appearance that he's fairly easygoing, and moves much like a professional athlete would. The main difference is his Bob Ross tattoo shifts in its designs to focus specifically on the local area, and whatever structure appears in that tattoo is going to light up as an indication that he is providing a vessel right now.
Gotcha. So that happens. I think, though, normally Mac probably is aware of what's going on in their body when this happens. But
I'm going to say that he doesn't, or
he
largely depends. It's going to largely depend on what the spirit decides, because if he does provide a vessel for a spirit, and the spirit decides that it wants Mac to not remember what happened, he can certainly do that.
Okay. So on this occasion, you're getting kind of it's getting blacked out. You don't know what's happening. So Mac just sort of straightens up for a moment, looks down at his hands, looks over at Shantano, nods, glances over at a little pedestal on which there is a bust of someone. He walks over to it, he grabs hold of it, and he turns the bust until it's facing the opposite direction. Then he steps back toward the center. He turns back. They turn back to Shantano and says, "I always hated that thing staring at me all the time. Before I go back, do not be heard by anyone else. When next you meet murder, you will be tested. But I ask that you also deliver a message."
Okay. What message would that be?
The time is now. they will know what that means.
Mm.
And afterward, if all is still the same, I would meet with them. We have much to discuss. And with that, Mac, you have a vision before your body is returned to you. You and this gentleman, whom you met in the garden, are standing on a staircase, beyond which is what looks like a sea of stars. He is holding a weapon of some kind. It looks like a blade, a very thin blade. And he's descending toward you. You seem to be in you actually seem to be in a prone position. And he, as he does so, you hear him saying, as he's coming toward you and the blade is descending, You should have stayed in shadow. And you really should have stayed down. And then there's a flash, and then you are, once again, the spirit is moved from Mac's body, and once again is hovering back and forth, now moving in the pool. The name of the individual that you are looking for is Dark-Eyed Manfred. That is the name he goes by.
Right, dark-eyed as in dark eyes?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of lame-ass name is Dark-Eyed Manfred? Today, this was a good outing. I finally found the name of my nemesis. So is that it? Is there anything else there, Eminence? Is our business concluded?
That is what you requested.
No, I just meant in general. I mean, I'm pretty satisfied with the exchange that we had. He's going to look around, though, and just try to sort of piece together what might have happened during that 1 minute he was blanked out.
It's hard to say. Everything looks... it looks like... I mean, you're standing exactly, pretty much almost exactly where you were when you were possessed. You know, nothing's like broken or anything, or smashed, or... Nothing, doesn't look like he did damage to anything, as far as you can tell.
All right. So Mac is going to put on his jacket and say, all right, if this was Uber or Lyft, I would have given you 5 stars as a passenger. So there is that. I mean, he's going to glance over at Shantano and was like, you're not going to tell me what he did for that minute, are you?
No, I'm supposed to.
I mean, you could, but I'm not going to pay you for that information.
Look over at the spirit. Was that a part of the agreement or anything?
Just sort of looks over. I know that you will carry out my request. If you share that burden will be on you.
Okay. Don't tell him what you did.
Just sort of hovers back and forth and doesn't say anything.
Well, I guess I can't get in trouble with the rest of a crew if I don't exactly know what happened and you're not going to be forthcoming. So, hey, I'm good with this lack of responsibility for your actions.
Well, it was nothing bad, so no worries.
Does it involve murder in some manner?
He feels around. No, I still have my coin.
Didn't quite answer my question, but I'm going to choose to let it go because, yeah, I have some scheming that I need to do now.
Well, I think Shatana would turn back to the spirit. One more thing, if you could humor me. Could you point me in the direction of where I can find information about the Forgotten?
You mean other than the house?
Yeah. I understand that has everything to do with the past. So it's not your realm. Perhaps you know where I could go to find this information.
There were records. I'm not sure if you will... And it's just sort of... They're just sort of thinking for a moment. And it's just sort of looking at this like, there were sources of divination for that, but I can't see them. I think it's the same spell.
Interesting.
There may be records. There's a... And actually, no, again, this is the now, so it's kind of hard to say, but so he's going to have to couch this in terms of where you're going to go. So, in so doing, they will say, let me see. See if I've got this here. I think you will visit the Gerent to the north to seek them out. Yeah. If There is a potential for you to do that should you seek these records. Or someone you know may. Very soon. Eleni Bester. And you've actually, both of you have heard that name. She is the that is the gerent of sort of neighborhood leader of Silver Hill up there. It's also she probably she maintains a records office up there.
Okay. Let's see.
And the House of the Forgotten kind of sits right on the border between the two neighborhoods, so that probably has something to do with why.
Thank you for being so forthcoming.
The Home of the Forgotten.
Imminence.
Be wary.
So, how would you like to proceed, Mac? Should we venture off, or something?
On your time.
Tells you.
Which is crazy as it sounds, because you're not even paying me for my services.
Well, I just go where I go. If you choose to follow, that's not on me.
I guess I can live with that. Where is it that you wanted to head to now?
I mean, if time is of the essence, see Darren of the Numa.
All right, that works for me.
So you're going to go do that now?
Sure.
Okay. So you have the address. You've both been in that neighborhood, in that area before. And so you head north into Silver Hill. And something kind of curious happens as you're up there. You're looking around. You are sort of, yes, you're sort of on the eastern half of the, there. Well, you're actually kind of right in the middle. So you know that there's like an area where it's like you got to turn a few times to get up to Limerence Street. And so you kind of hang a right. And you go past, then you head up Dullahan Street, which should run alongside it. And actually, Dullahan runs down into your neighborhood as well. That's actually what the That's the street that on the south end that rocket is kind of stuck in the middle of, and that terminates at the Church of Stasis. But as you're heading further north, what you have. Is just sort of a mixture of sort of small shops. There's sort of bookstore, small grocery, stained glass, artist studio. There should be a turnoff to the left to Limerence Street, but there isn't one. You know, and there should be a couple of them, you know, over a couple of blocks. You find a turn to the left eventually, and you sort of walk it, and you find yourself on Imago Street, which you think is the street on to the left of Limerence. Which is mostly row houses and larger homes. And this big place called 13 Station at the end of the street. But there's nothing... Yeah, there's... You go back and forth a couple of times. But as far as you can tell, the street just isn't there.
Huh.
Always walking in circles.
So, Mac is just going to feel around his coat and then pull out Darren's card again.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't say wave it around, but he's probably going to look at it and, look over it and, maybe do a half circle to just try to see if it sort of makes an address appear.
You do. You step around and you start sort of looking, trying to see if you can pick something up, but there are no magical effects happening. There's the street that you remember being there that's not there.
I'm sorry, so what's in its place?
Nothing. It's like the neighborhood sort of folded. It's like someone took the map of the neighborhood and just folded it.
Okay.
And then you just hop from the street on the right of it to the street on the left of it instead now. It's like those two streets are now side by side.
Wow. This is...
I've never come across something like this.
Always a trip. Never wants to ever be easy. So, Mac's just gonna eye roll a bit at the absurdity of it all, and maybe look around, see if there are any spirits that are floating around or directing or moving in a sort of odd manner that reflects the missing street.
Wait a moment. I'm actually going to draw a card here.
Oh.
Because of course I am. Oh no. It appears the app is experiencing technical difficulties. Therefore, I may have to do this manually.
Want to see if I can pull up something?
Oh, got one. Okay, we're good. All right. So the card that I just drew is the Dangerous Elixir.
Oh,
It is a low card of notions. We've had it before, I think, maybe. Means power, transformation, risk, and consequences.
isn't that the one that matches with the first card you pulled?
I didn't pull it right after it, but let me see. Why, yes. Yes, it is. That's interesting. It's not quite the ultimate transformation. Not the ultimate. But, yeah, power offers power, but at a risk. Power can backfire. This promises transformation can be literal or figurative. Yeah. So I think this is what's going to happen. As you're looking for this spirit. You feel something stir. And you're going to see something. For just a split second. You feel as though something is following you. As you start to sense that maybe there's something like back there. And you turn around, and for a split second you see this thing that I'm going to show you. You are one of two people who will now have seen this. And you see it only briefly. You should be able to see it now in the handouts. There's something there.
Yes, and I don't see it.
Yeah, Mac is looking on kind of a spiritual level for a moment for this thing. And this is kind of what triggered the pull.
Where am I seeing it?
So, I'll tell you, you see it for just a split second. Sort of behind you, and then there's a brief flash as you feel this thing kind of rushing toward you, and you black out. As you sense something supremely powerful and dangerous. Shantanu, Mac has blacked out.
Right. I believe while Mac was looking for spirits, they would see if they could find. You said it feels like a fold.
Well, it's kind of like I was trying to use that as a way to explain what it kind of looks like. So, say like if you just took that bit out of the middle of the map and you moved the other two pieces next to each other, it's kind of like that. So the streets still the side streets that run through it still connect with each other, but the part that actually was on that street is gone.
Right.
So it's like these buildings. It's effectively almost like you take like the half of the block to on the left and the half of the block from the one street and the half of the block on the right from the other street, and they've connected together. So it's like these buildings that weren't connected together before are now connected together.
Mm-hmm. Shantanu, at that time, he would be trying to see if they could see that intersection of where the two halves that shouldn't be together are together.
Yeah. You're kind of so you wandered off during this time, basically, is what you're saying, or did?
Well, I mean,
are you still?
I would assume we're
yeah.
both in roughly the same area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just looking at different things.
I will say that you managed. Yeah, there are a few places as you're looking at it. It looks a little bit incongruous. But nothing like mystically so. It's more like an architectural thing. It's like this is a slightly different type of building, but it's right up against this
Right.
other building, and they're now basically the same building.
I guess when they hear Mac, I'm assuming they fall down when they pass out.
I will say,
Spectacular, so.
yeah, I will say you were next to like a lamppost, so you could be leaning up against it. It sort of bangs back into it and slides down it.
And Chantanelle looking around to ask Mac a question would see them sliding down, and you'd walk over and just look over at them, seeing what's going on. Tap them on the shoulder.
So it doesn't take. It takes you a minute to bring him around. But yeah, Mac, you regain consciousness.
Well, so that was a trip. I don't suppose you saw what hit me.
Oh, no. I was looking to see if I could find the missing road, I guess.
Peachy.
Has that happened before?
Lately, generally spirits tend to like me. Boy.
So is that an attack? Or
I don't know. It just happened so quickly. Can I get a sense as to where I was looking when I got hit?
Yeah, I mean you've got. There was kind of an alley you were looking in that direction. Although you did also get a sense that whatever it wasn't entirely physically attached to where it was.
Okay.
So where it appeared, where it manifested may or may not have mattered. It was kind of following you think.
Huh.
Either you specifically or the both of you.
Do I still sense it somewhere around me?
Sort of are looking around. Nope, you're not getting anything.
That was just not cool at all.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna start making my way towards the alley
Okay.
that I think it came from.
And as you're doing that, Shantanu, are you continuing staying with them, or?
If I see them wandering off, I'd be like, are you searching for that spirit? Do you need my assistance?
I don't think it's around here anymore. And he's starting to get a little angry now, because no one just knocks him over like that without at least giving him a reason. No, it came from this direction, though. I don't think it's around here anymore, but I don't think someone wanted me looking down this alleyway. And, well, we're all about making dangerous decisions today, it seems, so.
So let's see. I'm going to draw a card. Oh, that's interesting. So I drew the Questing Knight. Which I believe, I think, have we had it before, with this card? It's hard to say.
Wilde.
I think we might have. The apprentice of the Visions family. It's a stalwart and focused individual seeking justice, but over the long term. So you sort of are heading up there. And how to represent? Let me see here. Amongst the, let me check amongst the things. Ding, 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 ding. Huh. Okay. So, yeah, I think that what you're going to find is there's this not really much in the alley as you're looking around. Aside from, you note this, there is you see a cat kind of chasing its own tail. It's this little blue cat. There are a few trash cans in here. Back doors to a couple of places. That's it.
Oh. I guess I'll approach the cat a little bit.
Okay.
Slowly.
It's still doing it.
So he's gonna actually, I can't believe I'm doing this. He's gonna crouch right by the cat and say, "Hey, you have a moment?"
Damn, I almost caught that thing. What? Oh, hi. Damn it. It's gone again. All right. Yes. What? Yes, hi. Can I help you?
Yeah. So I have a couple of questions. Felt the spirit rush out of this alley. Did you happen to catch it or know what it was about?
It felt a little cold in here a little bit ago. I was a little distracted. I did feel there was something sinister, and I wanted to creep in here and see it. And by the time I got here, I didn't see anything, but I did. Then I saw. Well,
Yeah, I get it. The tail.
Yeah, she says, yeah, but no, nothing after that. Unfortunately, did you see it?
I felt it, but I guess that's not really the most important thing right now. I'm looking for an address, a place, but I can't seem to find it. The space in this area seems a little off. So I'm looking for Aaron of Numa.
That does not ring a bell.
All right, I am looking for Limerence Street.
No, I don't know of any Limerence Street. I mean, we've got, not around here. Not in this neighborhood.
How long have you been in this neighborhood?
Oh, it's been a long time. It's been a couple of years off and on, as I travel around quite a lot. But I've been here, and I have recently headed. If I did find out. Did you know that if you head further south on what's that one called? On Delahan, that you can find this place where there are these birds that are very delicious, but apparently they are not a buffet. But they are quite good. They start making the area smell really weird after you eat one of them, which is not ideal. And so I'm trying to kind of cut back, and I'm looking in other places for food right now. But, yeah.
Well, this is the point at which Mac is seriously regretting that he would think to ask a cat for directions. Maybe he was expecting too much. You have a name, cat?
Blue.
Right, Blue. Do you know a Munderick by any chance?
Munderick? What the hell are you doing around him? Yeah, I know Munderick.
Oh. I see you're not a fan of Munderick.
He's out of his damn mind.
Based on what?
Okay, I'm being a little mean, perhaps. But he's not out of his mind. He just gets these ideas that he thinks are great. And they're not great. They're really, really not great. He does that thing. Was he doing that thing? I assume you've met... Does he still do that thing where he walks on, like, only one half of his feet at a time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of. He's a few tunas short of a tin. That one. Speaking of which, though, if you would like some substantive information, I do a steady, brisk trade in that. If you have something to offer.
I'm sure I could come up with something, as would my associate Shantano over there, but I'm afraid you didn't really offer us any information that actually would provide useful.
Well, that's you didn't ask anything I knew about.
I suppose that's fair.
You want to ask me something about magic? I can tell you stuff about magic.
Can you talk about stuff about magic that's happening in this local area?
Well, we can try and figure it out. Yeah, it depends on what we're talking about, but sure.
All right, so I'm going to point in the general direction of where Limerick Street is and just say, look, I'm going to cut to the chase. There's supposed to be a street there, but it isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of at the end of my patience with this day. So if you know how to make that street appear, because I'm pretty sure I'm not crazy, and Shantano is not, and I'm pretty sure Shantano is in fact expecting a street there as well. So, yeah, you can just provide a little bit of information about any sort of magic that might be affecting that area. I could certainly exchange something delicious and nutritious for a cat.
Oh, what have you got? You got something?
I'm gonna peer outside of the alley and see if there's any sort of market.
There was like a block. Well, now just one block down, over on Delahan Street. There were there was a little market with some over there.
I will shop for something edible at that market down the street.
Okay. You're just gonna so you're gonna just head over with the cat to go and get it? Is that? Or are you telling the cat that? Or is
No, I was telling the cat that.
okay.
But,
Okay. Okay. They have fish. That's good.
I guess you're not terribly picky, but okay.
Well, I mean, if you've got something really good, I'll try to make up for it. But I mean, most of the things that I've been telling people is fish level stuff. Right. So, yeah. Okay. You promise?
Upon my word, as a member of the Goetic.
Oh yeah, you're one of those. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that'll do. Yeah. Okay. Let's start heading that way. We'll talk. And she starts padding in sort of eastward.
All right. I guess we're gonna follow a cat. Not the weirdest thing that's happened today, I suppose. All things considered.
So where's this street supposed to be? Says that sort of as she crosses over Imago and you're heading east.
Right here. I'm just gonna point to the fold.
She just sort of is. I always kind of thought that was just bad architecture.
It could be that too. No one has an eye for design anymore.
It is a little weird. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, okay, so... Huh. This is a toughie. This is a two-fish problem at least. Yeah, okay. Let me think about it for a minute, and she starts heading further east.
All right, so basically the scene is Mac standing around at a very weird architectural point with Shantano, waiting for a cat.
You're not continuing with her over to in the direction of the market.
Oh, she wanted to go to the market right now? All right, that's fair. I guess we'll go to the market, or I'll go to the market.
As you kind of get sort of over to that street, she's sort of sitting outside the market and she's looking in.
You got a preference?
Oh, well, tuna's okay if they have catfish. That's always nice.
Ew, freshwater fish.
So you got something further out, then that's always good. I mean, haven't had shark in a very long time. Shark is good. It's weird. It's good. Brim. Oh, sea bass. I haven't had sea bass in a very long time. I don't know if they have all that in there. Maybe.
With a heavy sigh, he's just going to go into the market, and this is so stupid. I can't believe it.
Her tail is swishing back and forth as she watches you going.
Spirits are so much easier to work with.
I think Shantano's just looking at Mac like, how often do you do this?
Not often. Not often at all.
You seem quite well versed in it.
No, I'm just very used to dealing with weird entities. And so he's gonna. Is there like a seafood place or like a seafood counter or something?
Yeah, they've got. So you see, there's a gentleman his head is an eyeball, who's behind the meats counter, and there's an area with sort of packed in ice where there are a bunch of different types of fish.
Fantastic. Is there a deli ticket system in place?
Yes, there is. You just you go up and you take a ticket.
So this mage does something so mundane as to pull a deli counter ticket and await assistance from the seafood counter.
There's actually only one person in front of you, so you're able to get up pretty quickly. And he will. What type of fish do you want to buy?
What's on special? What's on sale? Come on.
What's on sale? Okay, I'm going to draw a card and find out.
Oh, God.
We're going to draw a card to find out what fish is on sale.
Oh my.
Oh, okay. I've drawn the Looming Shade.
Oh, God.
Terror, doom, impending danger, unseen threats. There are some... they've just got some shadowfish imported, which are not shadow in the shadow sense, but shadow in the shadow sense. These little... He holds up... He points to this tank that have these long kind of very dark fish that look like shadows with long tails.
Those look fun, but I'm guessing that they're not super edible for a mundane cat.
And the guy with the eyeball on the eyeball head says, "Oh, you can eat them."
Right, but I'm not so sure that a cat is going to be digesting that thing.
Hey, you gotta have a very refined palate.
It's just an alley cat.
I got tilapia. You want tilapia?
Yeah, let's do the tilapia.
All right. pulls out a couple of tilapia. You want? He starts wrapping them up.
If you wouldn't mind just deboning them.
Oh, sure, no problem. He just takes them out and sets them out. Does it really quickly, really efficiently. 2 orbs. Actually, no. It's tilapia. 1 orb.
Fine, whatever. Here we go.
Thank you. And he gives you the fish.
All right, fantastic. So he's gonna stroll out the door. He's like, "Good news! I got you some Chilean sea bass."
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, all filleted, ready to go.
Oh, that's excellent. And she's just sort of looking up.
So I'll give you 1 fish now, but I'm not giving you the other fish until I get answers on that.
Okay, fine. And do you give her the fish? The first fish?
I'll give her 1 of the fish. I'm
Okay.
Fresh Chilean sea bass.
She goes over to the side, to sort of another side alley, and she's like, starts tearing into it. Something's weird about this one. Tastes a little weird. I don't know. It's okay, though. It's good. Just sort of eating it. Okay. So I've been thinking about your problem, and I've got some good news and some bad news.
I am wholly unamused, but let's hear it.
So there's a way that could have happened. What you are talking about. Would be very strange and difficult for it to happen, but it is a thing that could happen. It's a kind of a spell of erasure, in a sorts, or not really even, it's hard to explain. It's not really, you're not really erasing a thing, you're kind of hiding it, or removing it. Because it's not there. There's nothing there. I'd have sensed if something was there, but it's not there. But I also noticed there's a thing kind of that I can't sense, and I'm not supposed to have a blind spot in that area, so I think there could be some kind of thing going around, maybe, that would affect everybody's memory and kind of the local history as well. And that's kind of how it works. It's not actually like it's a spell that... But see, the thing is, you remember, right?
Well, yeah, I'm here looking for this place.
Yeah. I bet if you asked around, no one else would remember it. Or very few people. The thing is, to do a spell like that targeted, must have been somebody who was wanted to target you. But where you just sort of make it so that a thing, you kind of hide a thing away or move a thing and make it so that it never existed practically except for a few people, that requires a crazy amount of power.
Fantastic.
So if that's what happened, that would be an explanation for that, and that would actually kind of explain the architecture situation, because those do really look like two different buildings now that I think about it. But yeah, it would require a crazy amount of power to be able to do that and single people out, and it must have been desperate, whoever it is that did it. I don't know if they would have even survived the process if they did that. But yeah, this kind of thing, breaking a thing like this, I would ask around, see if there's anybody else, maybe somebody you know also. As both of you remember, yeah?
Well, sure. I mean, I got this card a couple of weeks ago, and another spirit brought us over here.
Mm-hmm. I've been here before. Long time ago, but before.
I would see about getting with anybody else that you know that you think might also remember and talking to them too, just to make sure, because you may have a serious problem here going on, whatever it is, if it's true. So yeah, you should probably... You're going to need help anyway, I think. I tackle something this big. Because this spell like that's freaking crazy.
Well, I guess we're stuck here. Thoughts? It's Chantana?
Maybe... Maybe everyone else might know a way to help with this. Perhaps we should go back and ask for some assistance.
Probably so. I might need to ask a spirit about this, or maybe Abernathy might know.
Yes. And if this is construction thing, Shaw might be able to do something about that.
That is also a possibility.
Oh, you know Shaw?
Yeah, do you?
Oh, yeah, no. Nice, very nice person.
How do you know Shaw?
She gave me a fish. She lives over near where those birds are that I was talking about.
Huh. All right.
She lives down in the mine, yeah?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, down next to the mean guy. Yeah, no.
Foreman.
Oh, yeah, foreman, yeah, the foreman.
Cool. So, well, a deal's a deal. Here's your other Chilean sea bass.
Excellent. And she reaches up and as you hand it down, she sort of snatches it. It's like,
All right, I guess our business here is done. You can scram.
I'll just take the rest of my sea bass over here. Thank you.
Oh, don't be rude, Mac.
She goes over into the alley.
Well, who would want to erase this street? Is it because of this Darren guy, or is there something else on Limerick Street? No one wants us to visit.
Perhaps it's something that Darren knew.
You knew a few different people who lived on the street. And there were a few different businesses up and down it.
Well, I don't have anything else to change for information from the imminence.
Well, I mean,
I suppose I could try to summon Jaredith.
we have a location, so. If anything, I have someone from each of the different factions might be able to help. This might be a puzzle, not a single spell.
Perhaps there is some sort of bigger game afoot. Stop that. All right. Well, I've about had it with the run around today. Someday we'll have net answers to questions.
Yes. I've always found that there's no point in walking in circles.
Right. So we'll just have to take this back to our comrades and see what they think.
Indeed. Well, at least we got some information. We know where we need to go.
I know who I need to kill. I mean...
Can I watch?
Probably. I think there's going to be a lot of preparation involved, though.
Oh. Interesting. So not spur of the moment.
No. No. I don't think this is a guy I can sort of just touch and have him murdered. Besides, where would be the fun in that?
I don't think I've seen a premeditated one yet. Interesting.
Okay. Let me just ask briefly. Are there any other things we want to make sure, absolutely sure we hit before we sew this one up for the night?
I think I'm good.
I think I got something out of it.
Cool. All right then. Well, we have come once more as they stand there puzzling on next to a street that's not there anymore. We shall now celebrate the fact that they've wandered onto the main plot. And perhaps further celebrate it this Saturday as they draw their comrades in. We'll see how things go.
How dare you use development to bring us on track?
Actually, strangely enough, I have to tell you, I think I've gotten more direct-to-campaign stuff done in development mode than I have in the main sessions.
That That's true. We got to stop splitting up the party in our main sessions.
It's very strange. But that said, let's go around once more and say any final thoughts about this session and where folks can find you. And we will, I guess we'll go in reverse order, so we'll start with Anino.
Hi, my name is Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. This session was fun. We'll be back again on Saturday and see if we make it any further. Hopefully I will not be forced to con cats into believing that they're eating Chilean sea bass, when in fact they are eating common tilapia. Yeah, that's about it. I'm glad to know that I have a nemesis and will focus all of my energies into developing power in which to take them out. So should be fun.
Excellent. Good. All right. And Wilde.
Yes, hi, I'm Wilde Engineer. You can find me on Twitter at Wilde Engineer. Yeah, this is actually got a lot of information out of this. Hopefully I don't end up giving out a lot of myself, because eventually there'll be nothing of me left.
Yes. You need that.
That's not a good...
Don't give yourself away. You need one of those.
But yeah, it was quite interesting, quite fun, dealing with the spirits. And I'm sorry I couldn't try to murder one in front of Max so he could stop me. So
I don't know if you would actually do that. But it's not like he's opposed to murder.
Yeah. You never know.
You never know.
You never know until you try, really. You never know how your friend is going to react to your murdering someone until you do it in front of them. That's really the test. Okay, well, before I slide into anything even more morally ambiguous, once again, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I've got links down below to my website, Twitter, and YouTube channel. On this channel on Tuesdays, we are doing our short campaign of Amber Diceless this month. And it's...
Like, oh yeah, I do that too.
And he does in that as well. It's we're diving in and things are already going crazy because it's a short campaign. These things happen, but in Amber, of course, crazy gets amplified by 20. On Fridays, I am over on Off the Table playing in their 1890s Urban Shadows campaign, so look for me there. On Saturday nights, we have our regular Invisible Sun campaign with a whole cast. And so that's when we'll pick up and see where things go. And on Sundays, we do one-shots here. This Sunday, we have the first of 2 one-shots of a Savage World setting I put together that I call Mythic Rome. It is basically Roman Empire with mythical creatures also living alongside them. And defending the Empire, things of that nature going on. So very much looking forward to that. Sign-ups are actually still open for that. If anyone wants to try to dive in this coming session at the last minute or to the one that's coming at the end of the month, if you want to sign up for that, either click on the sign-up link below or go once again to jimyesthatjim.com, click on Game Sign Up. As always, beginners are welcome. When we hit the end card, I am going to send a raid over to Tales from the Grim. They are doing their Dragonlance / Ravenloft-ish campaign. They're now just calling it Dark Dragonlance because they're afraid to bring in the rest. I feel no, maybe not. No, they're very good. They're very good. They've been actually more hinting at the other Ravenloft stuff a little bit more than anything else. But it's been a lot of fun. It's a very very dramatic campaign. And a lot of character stuff going on there. So if you like, feel free to hang on and say hello to them with us. And again, that'll be at the end card. In the meantime, thanks very much for watching, folks. Take care. And I shall see you all of a sudden. Farewell.